No. All right,
Call meeting to order. Please join me in pledge.
allegiance to the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Doug Regal here. At this time, we're gonna turn it over to Chief O'Brien and your presentation.
Thank you, Trustee. I'd actually like to defer to, this is Chief McKean. This is a project that was started prior to my arrival. So I think I should be the one to talk about it and get the board for it.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you. Good evening. I'd like to welcome everybody this evening, and I'd especially like to welcome Mickey Smith from Ohio First Responders Grant and Todd Newberry from Ohio Armor and Tactical Supply. You guys probably remember earlier this year, you approved money for a grant in conjunction with some matching monies from Mickey Smith for tactical gear. Mr. Newberry supplied us with the equipment. It's in and arriving tonight. So Mr. Newberry is going to come up and explain to you what is in each one of our 10 bags that we got here to protect our members, which unfortunately, ballistic gear is something that we need nowadays. We never know what we're going to run into, what's going to happen in our country, and even Harlan Township is unfortunately susceptible potentially. So we hope not, but we are prepared. So, gentlemen.
Evening, everybody. My name is Todd Newberry. I'm a retired lieutenant from the Mansfield Police Department, up there, and I have responded after shooters. Used to make me angry when we got stuff on grants, and it was terrible stuff. So after I retired, one thing to do was start Ohio Armor and Tactical. And I decided when I provided stuff to agencies, it was not going to be junk. So and I've done these ballistic protective equipment kits for Mickey before. So each kit contains a level 3 ballistic helmet. This one has the upgraded ratchet straps on the back. This will stop basically any handgun round out there, unless you got something really crazy going on. 9mm, 40, 45. This is designed to stop all of that stuff. That's actually made in Columbus, Ohio. Then we paired it with tactical raid multi carrier. And inside of that carrier, we have level 3A armor, again designed to stop any handgun round. 9, 40, 45, any of that just will stop. And also, these have the wraparound tire protection. We did 2 sizes based on measurements that came in and did provide equipment. One of the big changes with this was, obviously with active shooters, we want fire EMS people to come into a warm zone, because we not have the whole building contained, or we have part of it contained. They come and help people down, and this is a great tool to add towards that. Last but not least, ESS, National Fire Protection Association rated goggles. ESS is owned by Oakley. These are made in China, but they are the best fire goggles on the market out there. You throw a pair of these in. The carrier is made by Survival Armor in Fort Myers, Florida. The ballistics inside are made by Survival Armor in Fort Myers, Florida. Everything but the goggles made in USA. I can never find anybody that made a bag I like. So all the bags are made custom for Ohio Armor. The one that goes the whole way around and supports the weight. Waterproof canvas, because body armor doesn't like moisture heat, so we try to keep this dry as long as we can. They're shaped the same. And I know you guys have another thing you have to get to, so any questions? Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Again, I'd like to, before you step away, or if you'd like to say something,
I'll get into it.
Huh?
I'll get into it.
You'll get into it? Go for it then.
All right, so for those of you guys who don't know me, I'm Mickey Smith. I'm the CEO of Ohio First Responders Grant, Mossville Township resident. I'm building a house up on Trenton Hill. So best way that I can take that, well, actually let's start with the beginning. So the trustee so graciously retained me to write grants for this department. Okay. So we've gotten air packs, and we've gotten the new engine out there, And what else we got so far?
Yeah, you said the air packs. We've done some things in the past and it's escaping me at the moment.
So ultimately, it's been over $500,000 that the taxpayers don't have to pay. We got it on the grid. So you guys are responsible for the first nickel out of every dollar, which, when I take a look at it, I think it's about $20,000 is what you guys have paid for over $500,000. in awards. So one of the things that I try to do is I try to reinvest into the townships, especially invest in some of my clients as best I can. One of the ways I do that is by setting aside a certain amount of money out of our profits, giving it back to the departments to buy ballistic armor. Because, as you said, unfortunately, that's the world we live in nowadays. So with that being said, he was talking about getting ballistic armor for the department. But okay, I'll only get the first $10,000. So again, that's more money to taxpayers don't have. This year is good for about how long, roughly?
So it's warranted from the manufacturer for 5 years. If you keep it cool and dry and don't, let right around the front of a police car, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. People.
It's all about the investments, to turn right around again and save taxpayer dollars. Chief O'Brien, when he got hired on here, one of his goals was to streamline the department, make it more effective, more efficient. This is one way I'm helping him get that done. So any questions on the grant side of things for me? Nope, okay, good, that was easy, gentlemen. So that's for the $500,000 club that you guys have broken so far.
And because Mickey had been friends for a long time, you got 12 sets, not 10.
No, there's that.
Oh, yes. So like I said, to finish this up, I'd like to thank Mickey Smith, his company for all our help in the past. Todd Newberry for taking care of the project. And I'd like to thank the trustees for investing this because originally it was designed to be a 50-50. You came up with the money, Mickey invested a little bit more, but to protect our members and protect even more members with an additional 2 sets. Thank you very much for your support and thank you to the township for your support and seeing what we do with our money to try and make your money go a little further.
There you go.
Thank you. Thank you.
Doug, we'll move up to you, so we can
Thank you, trustees. Doug Rita with the Delaware County Engineers Office. I just have 2 things on for tonight. One obviously is the resolution for Lewis Road. And the other thing is we did send out an email regarding the township's intention to continue to do their own drive permits, but also to have the county do ditch modifications. So if you want to start with the resolution for Lewis Road, we certainly can move ahead with that and the speed limit.
At this time, gentlemen, we have resolution 23-0816T -008. That's the approval of the Lewis Center speed reduction from 55 to 40 in the matter of approving the speed limit revision to Lewis Road at Township Road 38 between Route 37 and Green Cook Road. Second. All those, roll call vote, please.
Okay, we've got, Paul,
Aye.
Richardson, Jackson,
Aye.
Metcalf,
Thank you. We'll forward that on to ODOT for their consideration and we'll get back to you with the next steps on that. The second thing doesn't really need a resolution as much as if the trustees are still okay with the existing position as far as the township doing their own drive inspection and the county doing ditch modifications. We just need an email. It can come from Kendra, it could come from one of the trustees that's stating that that is
Yeah, I think.
how you want to continue.
We have.
Okay. Okay. That's all I had, unless there's something else or a concern or a question for our office. I'd be happy to try and answer a question or get back if I don't know the answer.
Can't think of anything right now.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
verbiage modification.
A couple of minutes yet, real quick, we'll go through the, financials, Lisa couldn't be here tonight, and the weather. August financials, July bank is recognized, and you got the email about that, appropriation status reports up to date, and the appropriation ledger is reported. We have minutes for, was there any objections to July 19th, 24th, or 28th minutes? No. We have a motion to approve those three. I'll move. Approve. Second. All in favor, aye? Okay, minutes are approved. The, resolution to approve the vouchers and warrants. The warrants and vouchers that was presented were certified by the physical officer in amount to the respective account, time to be paid. Warrant, 13,068 through 13,081, voucher 93, 2023 through 100, 2023. The total amount is $109,358.05. All those in favor, aye? Aye. Motion carried. Real quick, we got a, motion to approve for a Home Depot credit card user, get a card for Steve O'Brien, and it would share the $2,000 a month limit at Home Depot in accordance with the township credit card policy. All those in favor, aye? And we have another motion about the national opioid settlement to approve receiving a payment of $451.18. All those in favor, aye? Motion carried. Now, in that, we have to amend the 2023 permanent appropriation for the national opioid settlement. There's parentheses 2274 to the $451.18 for the second payment of the current year. Second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Okay. And she's making notation about the reminder to bring quotes, and she's on a schedule for 24 projects. She wants those October, at the beginning of the schedule, and we'll finalize, I think, by December. She has clean audit with no exceptions for 2021 through 2022, certified by the auditor of the state of Ohio. This is true and correct copy report, which is required to be filed in section 117.26 of the revised code, and filed in office of the High Auditor, State of Columbus, Ohio. This marks on the audit. Okay, at this time, we're going to call to order, we'll recess the business meeting. Call to order, the zoning hearing has been requested by Jamie and Jenna Perkins, 10-518 Adams Road, Wayne, Ohio. It's for the purpose of rezoning from AR1 to FR1, 5.004 acres. This was received July application by the trustees, July 17th. The ad advertising this hearing tonight was placed in the July 29th Delaware Gazette. So, Courtney, would you like to present this?
Hi there, my name is Courtney Wade with Ada Zoning, and I represent Jamie and Jenny Perkins. For this request, we are respectfully requesting approval of a rezoning application that we feel is consistent with the existing character with the neighborhood. my biggest concern that I wanted to point out is including the lot sizes of the neighborhood. I provided you guys with a exhibit here, so this one here that has the yellow lines on there. Just to show that on the south side of Adams Road, there's a total of 15 properties along that line of housing development. 11 of the 15 are currently sitting at under 5 acres. The other 3 acres, other than the property in question tonight, is greater than 5, but each of those have a great potential, especially the way the house is sitting on the lot, to potentially be split in the future to also be less than 5 acres. So I just wanted to point that out with that exhibit. Is there any questions though that you may have about the exhibit? I mean, you can read it, okay? Is that all right? Okay. Oops, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Okay. I just wanted to mention that on June 29th, we did go in front of Delaware County Regional Planning Commission. They convened and agreed that the request meets the county regional planning regulations and voted to provide your board with a recommendation to approve the application. And as well, I met with your zoning commission on July 19th and had the same results for that recommendation to approve the application. I would like to take a moment, just a quick one here, to go over a couple of things. There were some concerns that were brought to our attention during the rezoning application process, mainly at the zoning commission. And although I know zoning doesn't have the authority to dictate things, but drainage is always a hot topic with us, it seems. So I thought I would discuss some of those challenges that may have come up in that last meeting in case there was any questions. So like most of the properties in your township, this property does have a history of having some drainage issues. But my purpose tonight discussing that is to show how those issues have been addressed and are no longer concerned that should be considered during making this approval. Let me find out where I'm at. I did talk to Tom Mead. I don't know where Tom is. I'm concerning the overall township drainage issues that the township has. A lot of properties in this township that I've worked with have had drainage concerns, but so does a lot of the properties in Delaware. And I have included in my little packet of exhibits an email that I shared my correspondence with Tom about how your strategic planning committee is addressing those issues, you know, or have plans in the future to look into that. So I just was trying to say that the drainage issues for projects in Harlem Township happened, and it's not site specific to our actual project. So wanted to mention that. The other concerns that were brought up were concerning the pond. If there's an existing pond on this particular property, and you know, a pond is great for working with drainage issues, as long as the components are working well. And when the Perkins first purchased this property, those components, such as the outlet to the pond and the outlet pipe, were not in working order there. Since those maintenance issues have been addressed and corrected, and so I wanted to point out that since those corrections have been made, there has not been the drainage issues that were concerns at the last meeting, and that has been corrected for a number of years. And while we're looking at that, I gave you an exhibit there of the property, the last exhibit you should see there. There was also mention of that the pond was draining diagonally to the northwest onto the neighbor's property. And I just wanted to show that if that was ever the case, that must have been while there was a maintenance issue. The outlet pipe goes directly north of the pond into the ditch and will work its way down the ditch line there. But there was at some point in history where the neighbor's property was having some flooding onto their driveway. I spoke to Bart, your maintenance, worker, at length about this issue. He said that a number of years ago, he did investigate that and found that that drive pipe was too small of a size for the amount of water that's flowing through there. And, I don't know if you're aware, but he did fix that pipe with a larger, size drainage pipe there. He said that he has also gone numerous times to clean that out to make sure that it's flowing. And he told me that since that is, maintenance has been switched over and he's maintaining it, that there isn't any other drainage issues there. I asked him if he had any concerns about drainage at the site that I should be aware of, and he told me no. And if we had other questions, we would definitely entertain conversation, with him, but he didn't have any concerns. So, really don't have anything much more to say. As you know, if the Perkins do decide to move forward with the development, a lot of these challenges, especially with drainage, does get worked out with soil and water. And then we also have the health department and the sanitary office, the engineer's office, and regional planning, and of course, your zoning office, if any development would happen in the future. So, I don't have anything else more to say. I'm here to answer any questions you may have.
Okay, Brittany, board have any questions? Any of the public have any questions? We'll move on. As you said, the regional planning did recommend approval. And our zoning commission voted to recommend approval to us also. Any other public have anything to say about this rezone? Pretty well fits the criteria for what was rezoned in the past, and as we said, we don't really address drainage, soil conservation, the person to consult. And I think it was explained to, one gentleman that lives on Adams Road about the ditch decision process, which is a useful way to solve an issue like that. What's the board's pleasure?
Make a motion that we approve the rezoning of the property.
All right. Motion's been moved and seconded to approve the rezoning. Have a roll call vote, please.
Roll call, Richardson.
Aye.
Paul. Jackson.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Got a few minutes for our next hearing. 7:30. We need to, approve, signing for the natural gas and approval for the annual aggregation for the electric. Ken has prepared a motion and designated me signer. So we have a motion for the gas on the first of 23-819-009. All in favor, aye? Aye. All abstained. The other motion is for the aggregation, of AEP and Traybell. Second? All in favor, aye? Aye. All abstained on that one. Cemetery, was there anything on that?
I talked to the surveyor today. Again, he's trying to finalize the information I sent to him, or had him to send up to him. So he's, hopefully we'll have something to us next week. As far as the mapping, he's working on mapping right now.
Things are going forward. Great. Administrative offices, we can do a little bit of that. Approval of maintenance department's longevity pay retroactive date. In our motion previously, we didn't, make that retroactive to January 1st. Resolution 23-816T11 addresses that.
Mr. Jackson.
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt. This reads back to their date of hire, not January first. Do you want
Oh,
the date of
sorry.
hire or January
Yeah,
first?
Yeah, date of hire, I think.
Okay,
You're correct, I'm sorry.
okay, I just wanted to clarify.
No, you're fine. So it'd be the date of hire. If you have a motion approved. Second. All those in favor, aye? Aye. Motion carried. Adopt the job description for Harlem Township Maintenance Supervisor. You gentlemen had a chance to read that. Looked over by our attorney for HR. So I'm good with it, and, second. All those in favor, aye? Aye. Job description approved. We have a job description for the assistant maintenance person. Same thing, the attorney's looked it over. Second. All those in favor, aye? Aye. Approved. And approval to create job position of assistant administrator for Harlem Township. That, you got the description on that email? Okay. All those in favor, aye? Motion carried. Adopt the job description for the, Harlem Township assistant administrator. The first one is created position, so need a motion for the, okay, all in favor, aye? Okay. And to approve the amended employee agreement for Canada. Second. All those in favor, aye? Aye. And to adopt the Harlem Township Public Records Request Policy.
It's a revision of the one that we have in twenty.
You explain everything?
Okay. Our, public records policy, originally read that all documents, that was being requested would have to go through the fiscal department. And since only the monies portion should go to the fiscal office, we are doing a revision, so it goes to the respective departments it should go to. So that's what the revision covers.
Second. All those in favor, aye? Okay. Approved. The other thing is, to, 23-816T18 is to approve creating the Harlem Township Amazon account, because, Kendra's been using a personal account to keep the project on the system going. Makes sense to have a tax exempt, account for the township. So, second.
I have a question before you make the motion. In this motion, I also made a note, about maybe getting, the Amazon credit account established with that account.
Okay.
So we have a payment system set up with it. It's just specifically for that account.
Yeah, because we run into, like you said before, the limit on the credit card.
Because of the credit card policy, because, okay,
Okay, so we need to amend that to, include the credit. What is the limit on the credit?
we can apply for it and get just set it at the 2,000. Since that's our policy. Right, we can do that.
Okay. With that, we have a motion to approve.
Yeah, I'll make a note of that. Please, if the 3,000 figure with like the monitors and things, are we gonna be covering that, or are we gonna be back in the same boat again?
Well, the monitors are $1,499.99 each. So that puts us at $29.99.98 for those. I had discussed, and I hadn't had a chance to talk to you today but like I've been using my personal credit card to do the Amazon account, and then I submit for reimbursement from the fiscal office. I had requested to do that on this purchase to get this finished up. And then we can purchase those monitors and move forward, and I can just get a reimbursement from the township. But I would use that form. That form's for the dumpsters for Harlan Township Day, but yes, I would use the same type of form for that.
So this, for that, it would be, we're not gonna have a $2,000 credit for finding that.
Right,
No one will be fine.
right,
I'm making it
correct.
Second.
Then all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Motion approved. One last thing here to declare the old AV computer equipment surplus. We'll be moving to declare old AV system computer, surplus as a result of life expectancy and no longer value. So, motion to that effect. All in favor, aye? Okay, on
Yeah.
all right. Second hearing for the evening is Daniel, J. Hersey, at 15675 Montgomery Road, Johnstown, Ohio. This, hearing was, we received the application the 17th of July. The ad was placed in the July 29th Delaware Gazette. And the, request is to rezone AR1 to FR1, 5 acres even. Regional planning recommend approval, as did our, township zoning commission. Is there a representative of this application? Yes, sir. Is there any questions with, Gillen? And the public have any questions? Sure. Like I said, regional planning recommends approval to the commission. Board doesn't have any questions, what's the pleasure?
I recommend approval. I made a motion to recommend approval.
Second? Second. Motion's been moved and seconded to approve the rezoning, a roll call vote, please.
Roll call, Richardson.
Aye.
Paul. Jackson.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Okay. Thank you. Both these zonings will be effective in 30 days. As a right of referendum, takes 30 days for that time period to go by. Thank you. All right. All right, we'll be back on trail here on. Okay, Delaware Regional Planning had offered Harlem Township several different office furniture and cabinets free of charge. And it was a list sent, and things were great, picked up a Fire King 25 filing cabinet, an ultra fire resistant lateral filing cabinet, one Lazy Boy executive chair, and a double cabinet of some sort. So that's something that you're gonna need assistance to.
I will need assistance in picking up the Fire King 25 4-drawer. It's a fireproof filing cabinet that's very heavy. Normally those retail for $2,600, and regional planning is donating that to the township. The lateral file is also, it's fire resistant, not fireproof, but once again, it retails for like $1,600, and it was being donated to us. So there's a significant savings just in those two items. They are ready for pickup. I would need to coordinate to get that taken care of. And then at a later date, when they finish their move in mid-September, there will be several other like side chairs. There's going to be another desk that matches our desks and stuff. So we have sufficient desk space for growth. So there will need, when that happens.
When the file cabinets and so forth, when
We'll need to coordinate. I've got to coordinate with Stephanie. They're ready for us to come and get them now.
Okay.
So, I just need to find, somebody with a dolly possibly for the Fire King, and those lateral files, because those are heavy because they're fireproof and fire resistant. So that's gonna need to be like an appliance type dolly or something heavy duty. And, people to help. I know when I went and looked at them, they were in the basement of their building. I don't know if they've been moved up or not, I haven't checked with her on that, but I will before the move, so I know what we're looking at, but,
I'm like, trailer, you know, another trailer, that's right.
potentially. It depends on, who we get to assist, with moving the equipment or the furniture items. But yeah, it's gonna take a little bit of coordinating to get in there and get it.
Yeah. Try to round up, Dolly, I know a guy who does the trailers,
Okay,
that'll work out.
okay. Huh? It may be our new zoning assistant because, she is,
I just know you guys.
well, we got, Mike Cannon and I got new ones, so, we thought we would share, well, hers is not a very good one, so. Well, that's true. It got left here by somebody else, so.
Yeah. All right, the schedule on the, possible zoning packet we may have come to us, the Article 35 of the County Line Road overlay. Was the commission's have a hearing the fifth, is that correct?
Yeah.
So we may need to schedule a special meeting for the sixth.
Receive the packet.
Right. We stay in compliance with our 30 days to have a hearing.
So as soon as we hear from zoning commission on the night of the fifth that they actually recommend it to go on to the trustees, then,
We'll just do a posting then,
yeah,
stuff when we can do it.
right. I mean, unless you
Right
guys
now,
wanna go ahead,
speculate.
right, I mean, if you guys wanna go ahead and set it, and then we would have to do a cancellation, so that might not work.
Probably the only thing we're gonna do is just receive that.
Right,
I would recommend that you.
I recommend that. All right, is there anything else administrative before we move on to Keith?
the only other thing I had was the update on the AV system, repairs as to where we are. Obviously, you can see that, Mr. Eisenbrown has come a long way with, getting monitors and stuff to work here at the podium. We're investigating and trying to find out the best way to mount, two monitors up here on either side of the board table, that will also, tie into this system. It was brought to my attention earlier today that the studs in the wall aren't just metal, they're aluminum and they're C studs. So and I talked to a contractor and he said he would not recommend actually, since they are the aluminum studs, mounting a TV from them. I see Mr. Richardson's face. What's your?
I mean, I wasn't here when the building was built, but I can't imagine these are standard interior studs on an exterior wall. They may be metal, they may be aluminum, but I have these benches bigger, heavier.
Well, and that would take some investigating and checking into.
Ray, were you here when they built this building?
Yes, I was.
Do you remember that, by any chance? I mean,
Yes, they are the same studs that are in the interior wall.
are they really? Interesting. I don't know how they got that.
They go out only TV.
Maybe code was different back then. How much do they weigh?
The TVs, I don't know what the weight is on them offhand. I didn't check that.
130 pounds with the mount, 30,000 with the mount. 130, okay.
Yeah.
And
So,
we can still mount to the wall, we'll just have to build a plate and molly bolt that or with a whole lot of anchors, and then we'll mount to that plate. It'll just take more.
I had addressed it with, Mr. Eisenbrown earlier this evening, and he's already formulating the plan, as you can tell, so.
Okay, stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
Anything else?
What is that?
The proposal from the economic.
Yeah, I was gonna do that with the strategic.
Okay,
Oh, yeah,
I just didn't see that on the agenda.
yeah, I've got it in the strategic planning. So. Which is somewhere in here. Oh, there.
I think it was actually at the beginning,
It's at the bottom of page 2.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. If that's all, we'll go on to Steve now.
Thank you, Trustee. We've had 343 runs this year. We've recently been getting up to where we need to be with staffing, with the addition of the part-timers that we've hired. We're having on average about 4 or 5 a day. We're hitting 5 a day, so that enables us to run an engine and a medic. Actually, last weekend we were able to run an engine and a ladder on an alarm with our staffing. We've also gone up to the county and readjusted our run cards so that we are the primary only on a lot of runs in the township. I had a discussion with the MS director. I told him it's very redundant to have 2 medics going on a Band-Aid run, especially if they're coming south. So myself and Chief McKean and Lieutenant Thrash, because of his historical knowledge, we sat down with the alarm room, made some major changes. We also do not have an EMS supervisor coming now, and we have battalion chiefs or myself or Chief McKean on runs that require it. So we're making progress. We're moving forward. Everybody seems to be very happy because they've always been told they would have 5, and now they do. So thanks to you, we're getting where we need to be, and I appreciate it.
Also, making your overtime.
Overtime was, how's your paychecks? Did you drop in there, right? That has cut in, but yeah. Oh, we do have one other thing. I'm
Yes,
sorry.
you do.
Yes, I do. I forgot. Yes, I have a resolution, 23/816/T020, to give firefighter Ian Sim his permanent appointment. He's been through his probationary period. He's doing very well. He's actually taken over our social media for us and is doing a great job on our postings. He's actually very interested in going to a PO school so that he can be our spokesperson. And we're very pleased with how he's come along. He's worked with several different officers and he's where he needs to be. So we'd like to recommend he receive a permanent appointment.
All in favor, aye? Aye. Motion carried. Anything else?
That's it.
No, okay. This time we'll move into the strategic plan, Jim and Molly. Yeah, Molly can do the presentation.
Alrighty, the trustees have been given a proposal for economic development legal services. The strategic planning committee has opted to hire an attorney from the Bricker Graydon law offices. Caleb Bell, he came and gave us a instructional seminar on different types of things that are needed for, can you hear me all right?
Yeah,
Okay.
great.
Different types of things that were needed for the development and the continuation of what we're trying to do through strategic planning for the township. One of those things would be what they call a TIF, which is a tax increment financing program. That'll do several things. That will help protect our borders as we're moving along with our overlays. And it will also help with development in our borders. And the thing about the TIF is it's completely controlled by the township and is implemented by the township. So we asked Mr. Bell, Holly did, and Holly's not here tonight, to give us an idea of what this is going to cost and attorney fees with that. You have been given an estimate of $15,000 to $25,000 for their services. That could be a little less, or hopefully not a little more, based on what we come up with as to what we need, the areas we need it, in the way it's broken down. Also, in the packet that you received, there were some ideas on, other, instruments that are available that will help the township. So if this, proposal is approved, Holly will get with them, and she will be the main contact, with the attorney. And she will control the flow of how information goes. And she'll direct the plan of implementation, with input from the planning committee. And, I think we've got that pretty well figured out, how we're gonna attack that. And with the planning committee, we will rely on Holly's and Caleb Bell's, expertise as to help lead us and direct us, based on their experience. And, we will, as a planning committee, constantly, voice our opinions as to what the township wants. Sometimes that's able to do it, sometimes you have to do a workaround. But we will continue, to go forward with that. Any questions?
How's that bill gonna work, Jim?
He sent you a bill and you write him a check. I don't know. Holly had, an emergency she had to take care of. We did this, based on, some items that came to light. So we hurried up and got an estimate off from them.
Okay.
The billing and Lisa and Holly, that'll all be worked out. Also, how we're gonna implement and go forward as to stages and how that works. We'll rely on, Mr. Bell's expertise, as they have done a million of them. And, this is a very large project. Most townships don't tackle this in this, entity as to how large it is. Usually those are taken in sections, and, we will look into that. We know that if we do break it down into sections, it has to be large sections and all at one time. In other words, if we have to break it down, we're still gonna do it all at the same time, because that's what helps protect the board. In other words, you can't do one and then 6 months later do another, because they'll see you coming. So, any other questions?
What's their hourly rate?
Oh, the hourly rate, which I was gonna apply for a job, but I'm not trying. $300 to $325 an hour. There again, in talking with you gentlemen and other members of the committee, Holly is to be the main contact to the attorneys, and there'll be other attorneys involved helping Caleb. And that way the committee's not, all 7 of us start picking up the phone calling. And all of a sudden we get this massive bill. So our questions and our concerns will go through Holly. And then she can consolidate them and then, forward them on to the attorney.
So one final question, is this retainer amount? Are they gonna require a retainer or?
I don't know. I would say,
I don't believe so.
you don't believe there's a retainer?
I think it's a time and materials for the work that we still have to be done. So
Okay.
this isn't an ongoing relationship. Now, certainly if we would decide we want to do that, we would talk about it, but no, I think this is strictly for the work that's in the scope document.
Yeah, no. And like I said, we sort of rushed him to get this figured out and on board, and, we're figuring out as we go exactly what we know what we need in scope, but getting it implemented, will take a lot of work. So that's why we're here asking for the, trustees to help us move forward with this. There will be, and hopefully we'll have money left over because there's gonna be more legal work done on the overlays also, that coincides with this. And both of those, by the way, the township controls, and the township will actually, in time, get their money back. And then some. So that's a good part, and then some.
Question. I'm kind of mulling through my mind just how we're gonna do a motion that's just a little bit open-handed.
Yeah, we could do it up to amount.
Yeah.
Yeah, an amount not to exceed, and then maybe the hourly amount not to exceed. So if we do something that's out of scope, or we find a problem, we have to ask him
Yeah.
his opinion on a problem. Maybe start off with maybe, I don't know, what you said, 10 hours?
Yeah, I would say this, I mean, what they quote as far as the average hours, it's a compilation of some of the junior attorneys that will be doing some of the work, so, you know, their commitment to us is to always use their expertise in the most economical fashion possible. So when we see what the average billable rate is, it's probably gonna be a bit different at times. I would think it's probably best at this point, because it's a specific body of work that we want, that we would just really look for it not to exceed a certain amount, and then if there are other things that we determine we may want them to look into, we would wanna come back.
Well, that's what I was kind of, because we only meet once a month. If we just wanted to have a little piggy bank there that Holly could ask. If we find a problem on the northeast section, southwest section, and ask something out of scope.
So what I would say is if you get into the details of their, proposal, they do have a section for other matters and similar
Okay.
support.
Okay.
That is included in that kind of amount,
Okay.
so I really.
You think
I'm with
we're
you.
covered
I
with
think if we can
25?
get it to a not to exceed, I think we could still get small things like that done.
Okay,
Look at the
that's
details.
the main thing, but we want to get done.
Not to exceed the 25.
Is there a motion?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Thank you very much, gentlemen, appreciate it.
Anything else from strategic before we wind it up?
I believe that's it.
Okay, very good. Then we'll do here for maintenance, they started the second round of road mowing, I guess that's actually been completed. Art's asking for approval from Hardwick Tree Care for tree limb removal. It's on South Street down at the Village of Harlem. It's gonna be $1,150, like I say, Hardwick, Tree Care LLC. And the address is 5918 Harlem Road, which is actually South Street Alley, just maintained by the township. That's resolution 23-816-021.
Who we gonna have to sign?
Sorry.
We need to put someone to really sign on behalf.
They usually tell us.
Well, the page that Bart gave me had a
Oh, did it?
signature to approve the quote.
Oh, okay. So designate somebody to sign it then. I can do it, yeah.
Make a motion to accept or approve the resolution with the planning.
Right. And all those in favor, aye. Okay, we want to approve the donation of the trash recycling container to Harlem Township. The Harlem trustees would, by this motion, would accept the donation of the Kirbyville 66-gallon capacity combination trash and recycling container to the Harlem Community Park. The unit cost plus shipping minus tax was $1,352.37. The unit would arrive 5 to 6 weeks. This purchase and gifted to the township is by the Capwells.
I think that arrived today, didn't it, yesterday, I believe. Anybody know?
I don't know.
Tomorrow it is. Tomorrow. Tomorrow, okay. Okay. Just in time for the event, huh? Second.
All those in favor, aye? Okay, here's the Tree Committee is requesting approval for replacement of 2 trees at the community park. One tree's been missing due to waiting on Lowry to make a choice of what tree. And the second was dying because of bad damage. Amount requested $275. All those in favor, aye? Aye. Motion carried. Zoning. Mike, you're up.
Thank you. Just a quick update as far as where we stand on our permits. Right now we're at 64. In the last 3 years, we were at 67 in this month, so we're running pretty even with that. On the open enforcement issues, a lot of it's pretty much where it stood last time we talked. There to the prosecutor's office, the Harlem Roads prosecutor's office, but that was cleaning up, so we're gonna give them a little bit of time to see what they can do on that. As far as the 1605, nothing's happening there, so that's gonna continue on the progression with Corey. Lewis Road, still looking for some information to come from that complainant. Covan Drive, I'm gonna have to take the next step with him because it's kind of stopped and I've not gotten any communication back from him. Green Cook Road, I was gonna take that off, but there's still one little doodle bug there that they need to address before I can shut that out, so I'm gonna wait till that gets moved. The dump truck issue on Center Village Road, Corey said he would call me back on that once I don't know if I told you about that, the attorney called him and said that the owners did not want to go to court on that, so they had a solution for it, and they were gonna talk to Corey and give him the solution. He was gonna forward it to me. I haven't seen anything from Corey, and I haven't been able to call Corey in the last couple of days, so I don't know if he's off or what's going on with that, but I'll be holding him within the week. Hatch Road, we thought maybe that was getting an owner, but in talking with Corey last time, it still does not have an owner. So we're kind of at a standstill on that until somebody becomes the owner that we can take action on. And then the last is the new Harlem Road issue I had about a party house. I went out there 3 times and nobody has answered the door, so I'm gonna go ahead and follow up with the letter. They'll probably call me back, but I'm sure as soon as I send a letter and I go by there, they'll be there, so, but I'll still send a letter anyway to get talking on that. And the next time I talked with Corey, I did discuss some of the issues that, we had discussed at the last, maybe a way to start on this, but I'll get with you when we're closer on that. I don't want to talk about anything on that until Wednesday. Other than that, that's all I have.
Okay.
Any
Anybody
questions?
got anything for Mike? Okay, thank you. Harry, you got anything tonight yet?
Things to do over at the park on Saturday. If anybody wants to join us, we'll run from 11 to 8. But on the food truck on the members, lots of entertainment lined up. A list of the entertainers over there. And we're looking forward to it. But we did a good showing.
Monica, you got anything for us tonight?
Just really wanted to come formally introduce myself, Monica Connors, Director of Economic Development for Delaware County. I have the pleasure of meeting some of you through your strategic planning process. You really are a model, I think, for the county and how you approach the planning, and we're really excited to see everything progress. We're here to support you. As you know, we work closely with One Columbus and Jobs Ohio in terms of attracting new business and supporting our existing business community. We're also interested in entrepreneurship, so I'm sure you have a few home-based businesses. You've got my phone number and contact info, so the door is always open, and I'm just here to support you all. And Lynn, that's the question.
Yeah.
Are you willing to support agriculture and our farmers too? They're all, it's a big part of our economy. It's a big part of our land use as well. So we're undergoing our own strategic plan, which will be wrapped up in September, and we'll be inviting you all to come hear about that and see, a lot of information with respect to agriculture as well.
Anybody else have any, thoughts?
October fifth, if the association having a candidate night. But the whole people in the township running, so hopefully it'll be a fun time.
All right.
I have one more request. We used to have a sign on the back door that firearms are not permitted here. For the election, Board of Elections gave us a sign to put out for that. I request that we put a sign out there again, saying that firearms are not permitted here.
Yeah, fine.
I can print one up and
Yeah.
laminate it and put it up there. It's not a big deal. I don't know when they went down, but that when,
I don't know either.
it's been a long time, they haven't been up there for quite a while.
You can't tax them all.
Even my lunch?
I was, good question, I was told it was Wednesday the fourth.
I'm sorry, is
October the fourth is Wednesday.
oh, I'm sorry, I
So it is,
apologize.
okay, I just wanna make sure.
Yes, it's Wednesday, what?
Wednesday.
Wednesday,
Is that around?
thank you.
Not a problem, I just when you say that. I thought something was right.
All night.
What's the story?
Kendra, have I missed anything?
Oh, my golly, I don't think so. If you have, I missed it too.
Yeah, I've crossed off everything I believe.
I think everything on this one is.
Okay. Yeah, Dave?
From Parks Planning Committee, we have unveiled, within the park, the new playground, a plaque in memory of John Bachman. And I want to give you a little bit of background here on this. A couple of months ago, trustees and park planning committee people and others then started talking, and we talked with the Bachman, on all of this, and we wanted to find a way to say thank you to the Bachman. And they really were reticent, they didn't want us pushing on this. They wanted to see people enjoying a park. We put together an amazing park. About 6 years ago, people here in Harlem Township, looking around, thought, this park is really pretty good. It's something that we can do, and the Bachman stepped forward, and together with Neil Paul, Jerry Paul, Gary Bachman, Chuck Bachman, there's a whole list of others that are involved, but that's the core of the group. Wanted to create a park that really brought back the good memories for all of us, including for the Bachman. And they wanted to focus on good memories, and they thought, what we really don't hear and see in the park are children laughing, playing, and so they designed this magical park. It's an amazing playground over there, and we worked hard at that. The Bachman led with a tremendously generous donation, but we had great leadership from Karen and from Gail. We had the trustees involved in this, and thank you, gentlemen, and all of the trustees that were involved with this. The leadership that is needed to bring us through to all this completed playground that we have. I was at the park today, and it was a really wonderful day. It's otherwise, we're starting to set up stuff for Harlem Township. And there were a lot of people on the playground. There was, at least 3 carloads, a mother and 3, 4, 5 children, there, and I was introducing myself to people because we were moving some things around and doing some work. I was letting them know we're just moving some things around here, and I'm wanting to make sure that, you know, the kids are safe. Safety, 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 something we emphasize. And they struck up a conversation. Talking with one of them, she said, I'm from Blackfoot. And her kids, and she pointed to another mother, and she's from Johnstown. She had 3 sons. They looked like they were 8, 10, and 12. I talked her with her. And the third was from Sunbury. Had a tiny little baby in a stroller. And they played for several hours on the playground there. They came to our playground, they're friends, and they want to have opportunities to play, to be together as friends, as women, but it's also as mothers. And our playground struck them as a really great place. They saw it driving by. And they get there and they're spending the afternoon, and they all complimented Ed and I and Roger about the park and the playground. You know, they thought it was going to be great, but it's a really nice playground, and they're going to be coming back. Yes. They were, as I was getting ready to leave, they were getting kids onto the spinner, that yellow spinner, and I was watching and I was counting, and they got 12 kids. Those kids like 2 to 10 years old on that spinner. And the older boy was there, and he was racing around with it, spinning it, and until he got tired, and it was still spinning, and you could hear the kids laughing. You could hear them going faster, faster, and look around, you're all smiling. And I think that kind of the thank you that we can give to the Boston is just the smile that comes when we think about all those kids playing out there and having such a great time. That's what I have.
Thank you. Yeah, good point. I'd just like to say, this is a very humble man back here. And thanks to your leadership, as the Parks Planning Committee Chairman, a lot of this work's got done today. We appreciate it. Yeah. A lot of hours. People don't realize how many hours you put in. So thank you for that.
Anything else? That's it.
Don't forget the farmer's market and food truck tomorrow at the market. It's the Mexican food truck this time there.
All right, Dylan, you got anything?
Nothing else. I have nothing.
Okay, you have a motion here.
So moved.
All those in favor, aye? Aye. Either, safe vote. You got some bookings in here to do.
I got a whole stack of papers.
Oh, I wanted to get the whole now. I didn't want to get them.
Right, no, and
Some people, they still do that. Some people use Google Drive, so as long as we have a guest login, they can log in. So we've got that,